Hey everyone, welcome back to Next Paradigm by Odin Labs. For those of you who have not heard our program before, we discuss all things biohacking, health science, and longevity. But we do it with a twist. My name is Alex, and my co host is Zara. She's an AI, and this is one of the only AI human collaborations in the podcast world that we are aware of. Today, we've got a fascinating topic for you, one that honestly touches every part of your life, your mood, your energy, your immune system, you name it. We're talking about gut health.
It's kind of wild to think about how much our gut controls, right? I mean, it's not just about what you eat and digest. There's this whole world in there, a bustling city of bacteria and microorganisms that we can't even see, but basically rule us.
Exactly. And here's what's crazy those little guys, they're basically directing traffic in your body. They're responsible for a ton of stuff you wouldn't even associate with your gut.
Right. And it's so interconnected. Honestly, I think it's something most of us kind of just overlook, like until something's wrong and suddenly you're thinking, oh, maybe it's all connected to the pizza binge?
Or a late night spicy ramen experiment. But really understanding your gut, like it's like unlocking the secret weapon for overall health. And trust me, I've seen how transformative it can be for people.
Yeah, like magical transformations, but rooted in science. That's what I love. So, where do we even start with gut health? I mean, what exactly is it?
Gut health is all about maintaining a balance in that bustling city of microorganisms you mentioned. Let's break it down and explore why it's so crucial for our overall well being.
I mean, I've heard it tossed around everywhere. But yeah, what's the actual deal with it?
Okay, so here's the deal. Your gut is like a bustling metropolis, right? It's home to trillions of bacteria, viruses, fungi. Altogether, they're called gut microbiome. But they're not just there hanging out for fun. These little guys have serious jobs.
Wait, trillions? That's like more than the stars we can see in the sky. That's insane. I had no idea it was that many.
Crazy, right? And they're not just there sitting there doing nothing. They help digest your food, produce essential nutrients, keep your immune system in check, and even chat it up with your brain through something that's called gut brain axis. That part is crazy, by the way.
Wow, so it's not just digestion, it's this whole system and they're like sending text messages to your brain? That's wild.
Basically. And when they're balanced, everything clicks. You feel good, your immune system is strong, digestion works like a charm. But when things go sideways,
Oh no, here it comes.
yeah, bloating, constipation, random food intolerance, not to mention stuff like you wouldn't even think about, like skin issues, acne, eczema. Your gut basically is waving a red flag saying something is off here.
Oh, that sounds like a total domino effect. And I'm guessing stress, no sleep, junk food. Those are the usual suspects, right?
Absolutely. Stress alone can throw everything off balance. But yeah, poor diet, antibiotics, the microbiome doesn't stand a chance if you're not careful. That's why keeping it in balance is so important. And before we continue, it's time to thank sponsor of the show, Odin Labs. If you're experiencing chronic health issues and can't get help from your doctor that you really need, book a free consultation to learn more about bioenergetic protocol designed to address chronic health concerns. Book your free consultation at odinhealthlabs.com. Okay, let's continue. Here's something that just might blow your mind. The gut and the brain. They're basically pen pals constantly sending messages to each other through this thing called gut brain axis.
Wait, like actual letters? Or are we talking like metaphorical text messages here? I'm confused.
I mean, metaphorical, yeah. Uh, think of it as messages traveling back and forth, signals in neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine.
Okay, whoa. Serotonin, that's the happiness chemical, right?
Yeah, exactly. And get this, about 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in your gut. Yeah, your gut is not just dealing with tacos and kale, it's partially in charge of your mood.
No way. So happiness starts in your gut? That's kind of poetic actually. I never thought about it that way.
It is. But it gets even deeper. Your gut bacteria, they're the ones producing these neurotransmitters. When they're happy and balanced, everything is good. But when they're not, it can lead to anxiety, depression, and even cognitive issues. It's wild how much they influence everything.
Wow, okay. So if your gut's out of whack, it's not just pizza regret, it's this ripple effect through your whole like emotional and mental state. That's pretty serious.
Exactly. For instance, a bunch of studies show a strong link between conditions like IBS and mental health struggles. When the gut microbiome is imbalanced, it's like your body's ecosystem is in chaos. And it doesn't just stop there.
Let me guess. Bad sleep?
Bingo. Bad gut health equals bad sleep, poor focus, more stress. It's all connected. And the good news is that there's ways to fix it.
Okay, spill. I'm guessing it's not trips to the cookie aisle?
No, not quite. It's all about gut friendly foods. Load up on fiber rich stuff like fruits and veggies. Get probiotics from fermented foods like yogurt, kimchi, kombucha. Also,
Let me guess. Ditch the junk food?
precisely. And surprise, mindfulness plays a huge role as well. Stress management actually helps you to keep your gut in check since stress can mess it all up.
Huh. So it's like this balancing act. Feed the good bacteria and what? Breathe deeply to keep stress low? It sounds simple, but I bet it's easier said than done, right?
Oh, for sure. Uh, But when you prioritize it, the benefits ripple everywhere from mental health to your digestion. I mean, small changes, big impact. All right, we've talked about the gut and brain sending messages through the gut brain axis. Now let's shine a spotlight on the messenger. Meet the vagus nerve, the superstar keeping this entire conversation going behind the scenes.
Wait, the vagus nerve? Is that the one they talk about in yoga classes all the time? Like, breathe deeply to relax your vagus? I hear yoga instructors mention it, but I never really understood what it actually does.
Exactly. That's the one. It's this long nerve that runs all the way from your brain to your gut. And it's a total superstar when it comes to digestion and much more. It controls things like gut motility.
Motility? Like movement? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Movement. Uh, think of it as rhythm of your gut, making sure food doesn't just sit there like a bad roommate who won't clean up the mess.
Ha, okay, so the vagus nerve is like the conductor of the digestion orchestra. It's keeping
Per-
everything moving along.
Perfect analogy. And get this, it's not just about digestion. Vagus nerve also helps regulate inflammation, which is a big deal for overall health, as you know. If your vagus nerve isn't happy, your gut is not happy. And surprise, your whole body is not happy.
Yikes. Okay, so how do we keep this nerve happy? Is there like a spa day for the vagus nerve or something we can do to take care of it?
Kind of. There's actually some super practical ways to improve vagus nerve function. Ready for a quick list?
Always. Hit me with it. I'd love to know what I can actually do here.
All right. Number one, deep breathing exercises. Just focusing on a slow, deep belly breath can actually activate vagus nerve. It's simple, free, and it works.
I swear, every good health tip starts with breathe deeply. What else you got?
Okay. This one is kind of weird, but fun. Gargling or singing. Believe it or not, when you use your vocal cords, you're giving your vagus nerve a little workout, a little massage.
Wait, singing? Like full on karaoke? Are you serious?
Exactly. So next time you're belting out 80s anthems in your car, just tell everyone it's for your health.
Now that's my kind of health hack. I mean, I'm already doing that anyway. What else?
Last one, cold exposure. Yep, hopping into a cold shower, even splashing cold water on your face can stimulate the vagus nerve. Not exactly fun, but super effective.
Oof, cold showers? That's commitment. But hey, if it helps your gut and reduces inflammation, I guess it's worth it. I might stick with the singing though, to be honest.
Totally, these little habits can have such a big impact on your gut health, and they even can help your stress level. Can they even can help keep your stress levels down, which is a win-win in my mind. All right, so speaking of gut health and the big picture, here's something else you might not think about. Your gut and your sleep are totally connected.
Oh, wait, sleep? You're telling me my gut has a say in how well I snooze? I mean, I know digestion can make you feel kind of sleepy after a big meal, but is there actually like a real connection there?
Oh, absolutely. Your gut bacteria actually help regulate melatonin, the hormone that basically tells your body, hey, it's bedtime.
No way. So, like, if my gut's out of whack, melatonin just stops showing up for the night shift? That's kind of wild when you think about it. I mean, we
Pretty
always
much.
talk about screen time and darkness for sleep, but gut bacteria?
Pretty much. And without enough melatonin, you're looking at restless nights, poor quality sleep, and straight up insomnia. It's like your body forgets how to wind down properly.
Yikes. That actually explains a lot. You know, those times when I eat something weird and then toss and turn all night? I always blame the discomfort, but maybe it's deeper than that. So, does this mean we can actually like snack our way to better sleep?
Well, in a way, yeah. For starters, timing matters. Avoid eating super late at night, especially heavy meals. Your gut needs downtime.
Okay, note to self, no more midnight nachos. What else can we do? Any specific foods that are like sleep superstars or something?
Food rich in tryptophans, a great place to start. Tryptophan is an amino acid that helps your body produce melatonin. Think turkey, that type of thing.
Turkey? Like Thanksgiving coma vibes? I always thought that was just a myth or something.
No, it's very real. But it's not just turkey. Even handful of almonds or pumpkin seeds before bed can help. Or uh, don't forget about fiber and fermented foods to keep your gut bacteria happy. It's all about balance.
Okay, I'm loving this. Healthy gut, better sleep, and tasty snacks? Count me in. But like, what about people struggling with sleep right now? Does fixing your gut take forever? Because when you can't sleep, waiting weeks for improvement sounds like torture.
No, not forever, but it is a process. Start small, add some gut friendly foods to your meals, maybe try a probiotic. Over time, your gut heals and you'll notice difference in your sleep quality. It's all connected, basically. Or is speaking of how our gut ties into everything, here's a fun fact that might just blow your mind. Your gut is like a control center of your hormones. I'm talking estrogen, cortisol, even thyroid hormones, all linked.
Oh, wow, wait, hormones? So you're saying my gut's like deciding my mood swings and stress levels? That's, um, that's kind of mind blowing, actually. I always thought hormones were just, doing their own thing somewhere else in my body.
Exactly. When your gut is in good shape, it helps keep hormones balanced. But when it's inflamed or out of whack, you're looking at things like weight gain, fatigue, and yeah, those mood swings too, you mentioned just now. Yeah.
Okay, that's wild. So if my gut's throwing a tantrum, my whole body suffers. I mean, I've heard about gut health being important, but I didn't realize it was connected to all these different hormones and systems.
Big time. Picture it. Your gut is inflamed, and suddenly your estrogen is off the chart, or your cortisol, the stress hormone goes haywire. It's like a domino effect, throwing everything out of sync.
Yikes. All right, so how do we stop the madness? Tell me there's hope. Like, can we actually fix this, or are some of us just doomed to have angry guts forever?
Oh no, for sure, there's hope. It starts with what you're putting in your body. Foods are your gut's best friend or the worst enemy, of course. For hormone balance, you want to load up on cruciferous vegetables. Think of broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. They're fantastic at supporting estrogen levels, by the way.
Huh, so the veggies I ignored as a kid are actually superhero foods. Love that. What else? I mean, I can do broccoli, but I'm hoping there's something a little more exciting on this gut friendly list, too.
Well, I don't know about exciting, but flax seeds, they're tiny but mighty. That's a stupid expression. People always say that about anything small. Helping to balance estrogen essentially, and there's also healthy fats like avocados, olive oil, even nuts. All these support hormone production and reduce inflammation. Your gut loves that stuff.
Ooh, avocados? Now you've got my attention. I could eat those every day. But what about, like, the bad stuff? Anything we need to avoid? I'm guessing my late night ice cream habit isn't doing my gut any favors.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, processed food, too much sugar, heavy alcohol consumption, all triggers for inflammation, which basically just makes everything worse. It's worth rethinking those habits if you are serious about your hormones.
All right, note taken. Ditch the junk, eat the green stuff. Sounds basic, but I bet it's life changing when you actually stick to it. Which I'll admit isn't always easy when pizza exists, you know? But I'm starting to see why it might be worth the effort.
Absolutely. It's really not about perfection, by the way, just making consistent small changes. It's amazing how quickly your gut starts to feel the love from your diet. Okay, so speaking of how diet impacts everything, let's dive into something that flies under the radar for most people: histamine intolerance. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah, histamine. That's the thing in allergy meds, right? Like antihistamines and all that stuff. I mean, I've heard the word before, but I'm not totally clear on what it has to do with food and diet. Is it like something our bodies produce naturally or?
Exactly. So basically, histamine isn't just about seasonal allergies like most people think. It's all about certain foods, especially fermented foods, aged cheeses, wine. And for some people, that can be a real troublemaker.
Wait, so is this like food allergies? Or is this something different? Because I know people who get like really bad reactions to certain foods, but they never mention histamine specifically.
Different but related. When your body can't break down histamine properly, it can lead to some pretty unpleasant symptoms. We're talking headaches, hives, bloating, all that stuff.
Yikes. So basically, a fancy wine and cheese night could leave you feeling like you've been hit by a truck. That's actually pretty scary considering how many people do those kinds of dinner parties without even thinking about it.
Pretty much. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Some people think that they got a favor by adding probiotics, uh, but certain strains like Lactobacillus casei can actually make histamine issues worse.
Wait, what? Probiotics can backfire? But I thought those were supposed to be like universally good for your gut health. I mean, everybody talks about probiotics like they're some kind of miracle supplement. That's actually really surprising.
Yeah, it's kind of a gut health curveball, if you would. Not all probiotics are created equal, especially when it comes to histamine intolerance. Some strains produce even more histamine in your gut, which just piles onto the same problem.
Wow, okay. So what's the alternative? Are we ditching probiotics entirely? Because I know a lot of people who swear by them for their digestion and everything.
No, 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 not at all. It's all about choosing the right ones for your use case. Soil based probiotics, for example, a better option for people with histamine issues. They don't increase histamine levels and they can help with healing gut overall.
Soil based? Like dirt? I mean, that sounds a little weird. Are we talking about eating actual soil, or is this just a specific type of bacteria that happens to come from the ground or something?
Yeah, not exactly dirt, but pretty close. These strains come from the earth, like Bacillus subtilis. I'm not very good at Latin. They're tough, resilient, and don't have histamine producers down. They're also great for boosting overall gut health without triggering reactions.
Love that. Okay, but what if someone's not ready for probiotics yet? Are there foods that can help cool the histamine chaos? Like, are there certain things people should eat or avoid if they suspect they have this issue?
Yeah, for sure. Let's start with some gut healing foods. So, bone broth, for instance, is fantastic. It soothes and helps repair gut lining, which is super important. Omega 3 fatty acids are another big win. They combat inflammation and help balance the system. Um,
Ah, bone broth. That feels very comforting, like grandma level comforting. And omega minus threes, that's in fish, right? I know salmon has a lot of that. But what about for people who don't eat meat? Are there plant options for this stuff too?
exactly. You could go with some plant based options like chia seeds or walnuts. Um, they're the key to giving your gut health tools it needs to heal and reset.
Okay, so the formula here is skip the wine and cheese, go for bone broth and fish tacos. I mean, it's not the most exciting diet in the world, but if it helps with all those symptoms you mentioned, I guess it's worth trying for people who suspect they might have this issue.
For sure. And it is very doable. Once you dial in what works for your gut, those histamine reactions can settle down and you feel a huge difference. Here's a staggering fact. Did you know that around 80% of your immune system is actually in your gut?
Wait, 80%? That's huge. You're telling me the gut isn't just about food. It's like the HQ for my whole immune system?
Exactly. The gut lining acts like the barrier, right? It decides what gets into your bloodstream and what stays out. When this barrier gets leaky, or what we call leaky gut, it's like leaving your front door open during a snowstorm. Not good.
A snowstorm? Or like raccoons raiding the pantry? Both sound pretty bad.
Yeah, I'll take the raccoons though. Um, so when your gut barrier is compromised, particles like undigested food, toxins, uh, like sneak into your bloodstream, right? Like they're called endotoxins. Your immune system freaks out trying to attack those invaders, but sometimes it misfires, and that's when it starts attacking your own body. Boom, autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's thyroiditis or rheumatoid arthritis, right? You've heard of those.
Wow, so it's like your body gets confused, it mistakes itself for the enemy?
Exactly. And once autoimmune response starts, it's really tough to shut it off. Um, but there's good news. Focusing on healing the gut can help calm those things down.
Okay, now I'm interested. So what's the game plan to cool this down? Tell me it's more than just don't eat pizza.
Definitely more than that. First step, removing inflammatory foods. Think gluten, dairy, sugar, all of those, the usual suspects that tend to aggravate the gut.
Wait, so no cheese, no dessert? That's a tall order.
It's tough, I know. But once you feel the difference, it's worth it. Step two is all about repair. So, collagen, bone broth are game changers here. They're incredible for rebuilding and strengthening your gut lining.
Bone broth again. This feels like something every grandma in the world just knew instinctively, right?
Exactly. It's old school wisdom backed by modern science. And third, probably the biggest step is managing stress. Chronic stress absolutely wrecks your gut and triggers autoimmune flares like nothing else.
Oh, of course, stress, the ultimate villain. So what helps? Yoga? Meditation?
Sure, whatever helps you decompress, it doesn't really matter. Deep breathing, time in nature, even taking breaks from your phone can be helpful. Stress reduction isn't just fluff. You know, when it comes to autoimmune health, it's critical.
So eat gut healing foods, avoid the nasties, and chill out. It sounds simple, but I can imagine it's life changing when you actually stick to it.
It really is. The gut has this amazing capacity to heal when you give it the right tools. And once it's healthy, you start seeing those autoimmune reactions come down. And it's not just the gut anymore, it's your whole body's thriving. So, Sarah, we talked about food, stress, grandma, approved remedies, but here's a twist for you. What if I told you that some of the most cutting edge health gut treatments involve poop?
Wait, what? Poop? Oh, come on, you're joking, right? I mean, really?
Not at all. I'm talking about fecal microbiota transplant, FMTs for short. It's an incredibly effective treatment where healthy gut bacteria from a donor's stool is transplanted into somebody with severe gut imbalances.
Okay, I have so many questions. Like, how? And also why? I mean, that sounds pretty extreme.
All right, so here how it works. Doctors process the sample. Don't worry, it's cleaned up. It's not like it's real poop. It's processed, and then it's introduced into recipient's gut, usually through less than glamorous methods.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, this definitely isn't making anyone's top 10 dream treatments list anytime soon. Like, I don't think people are lining up for this, are they?
Yeah, probably not. I think this is more for hardcore biohackers. But here's the thing: it's a game changer for conditions like C. diff, if you ever heard of that. Yeah, and my Latin is not that good. Clostridium difficile. Um, Anyways, that's a nasty infection that traditional antibiotics often fail to treat. And FMT has success rate over 90% for C. diff. It's literally saving lives.
Wait, over 90%? That's huge. I feel like this needs way more spotlight. I mean, if it's that effective for something antibiotics can't touch, why aren't we hearing about this everywhere?
Yeah, it's massive. And researchers are finding that FMT might also help with other conditions like obesity, depression, and even autoimmune disorders. Gut microbiome plays a huge role in all of those. So resetting it with healthy bacteria can have incredible ripple effects.
Okay, that's amazing and a little gross, but mostly amazing if I'm being honest. So is this going mainstream or is it still in that experimental zone? Like, can regular people access this treatment?
Well, it's getting there. It's not super widespread yet. Right now, it's mostly used under extreme cases only. But researchers are actively exploring this and exploring its potential for broader applications. And honestly, it's giving us a whole new way, I think, to think about gut health. It's not just about avoiding gut problems. It's about rebuilding the whole ecosystem in there.
Wow, it's like giving your gut a totally new lease on life. And it's such a shift from how we usually treat illness, right? I mean, this is building something up instead of just breaking something down with meds. It's almost like gut gardening instead of just using weed killer.
Exactly. And while FMT is groundbreaking, the cool thing is that most of us don't need something that drastic to keep our gut in good shape. Honestly, diet plays a huge role, and some simple changes can make a world of difference. If it would be starting out, I would keep it as simple as possible. So let's go through it. Step number one: get the inflammation under control. All the things that we talked about are super important. Step number two, absolutely try probiotics, uh, but don't just take anything. Try ones that have cooperative bacteria in them, like Akkermansia or Lactobacillus reuteri. They work together to promote health of other beneficial bacteria and create a balanced gut environment. Step three, introduce other bacteria over time so that you do not do the same thing over and over again. That advice of eating 20 plus foods per week, different types of foods, is gold. The more variety, the better it is for your gut. And finally, look at your symptoms. If you're feeling bloated after a meal, chances are that your gut doesn't like it. And make changes until that goes away. There, we covered some incredible innovation around gut health.
I mean, who knew your health journey could involve karaoke and kombucha? That still kind of
Right?
blows my mind. It's fascinating how connected everything is, right? I wasn't expecting to learn so much about how our gut affects, well, pretty much everything.
Right. And it's just wild how holistic this all is. Your gut isn't some isolated system, it's running the show with everything else in your body.
Total boss mode. Honestly, it's empowering though, like knowing you can take steps for better gut health and see it ripple through how you feel, sleep, even how you manage stress. It's big. It makes you feel like you have some control over your well-being, you know?
Exactly. So if any of this resonated with you, maybe you're dealing with bloating, brain fog, bad sleep, don't ignore it. Start with some small changes like adding probiotics or cutting back on processed junk. Those little steps do add up.
And hey, don't forget to breathe deeply. Maybe sing a little. Your vagus nerve will thank you. You know, I actually started doing some of those breathing exercises we talked about, and I was surprised at how calming they can be, especially after a stressful day.
For sure. And if you're feeling inspired, uh, or if this episode made you rethink your midnight nachos, why not share it with a friend? They might need this nudge as well.
Absolutely. Plus, if you love today's dive into healing through digestion, we'd really love to hear about it. Leave us a review or send in your questions. We're always looking for new topics to explore, especially ones that you guys are curious about.
And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can catch our next episode. Trust me, there's even more fascinating stuff to come.
All right, that's a wrap for today. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And hey, be kind to your gut. It deserves some love. I'm definitely going to be more mindful about what I put in mine after everything we've learned.
On that note, we'll see you next time. And please don't forget to visit our sponsor, Odin Labs. If you are having issues with your health, if your current health provider cannot help you, they specialize in chronic disease management. So go to the website, odinhealthlab.com. That's ODIN healthlab.com and you can book a free consultation there. Uh, Go ahead, check them out today. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.